maybe it's not that weird of a question about why we don't get many Stellantis press vehicles.
That is valid. Do you think they listen to the podcast?
I never thought so until right now. And then maybe I was just like thinking more through it. I'm like, we don't really get many like Dodges or Jeeps or Alphas or...
Yeah. I think somebody ate Arby's right here while we were gone because there are crumbs literally everywhere.
People were actually a fan of that. I don't know if you...
Oh my God, really? I didn't read the comments. I'm bad about reading comments.
Okay,
I'm sure everybody knows.
Traveling and you don't want to see hate comments and things like that.
I know, but
yeah,
there's crumbs all
No,
over.
a lot of people enjoyed the ASMR Arby's. So much so I almost thought we should have ate something on this one.
Emily made me a bagel this morning.
Oh, didn't you? What kind of bagel?
I'm also having a nice coffee, which I don't usually do unless I'm at home.
Forgot to grab water. I might have you go grab me a water. It's unfortunate
I
that
haven't
you
left any on the
here.
floor.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you about to ask me?
What kind of bagel? Did I ask that?
Oh, an everything bagel with cream cheese.
You like the everything with cream cheese?
Yeah.
You like the sweetness with like the savory?
Sweetness.
Cream cheese is sweet.
Not really.
Pretty sweet.
It's a little...
I think.
Really?
I think so.
I mean, a little bit, but it's not... Anyways.
Yeah.
Oh, but yes, I do. I'm a big fan of everything with cream cheese.
I do like everything bagels. They're just so messy.
They are messy. I just eat them over a paper towel and then just...
Sure.
Throw it all away.
Yeah.
Emily also made some homemade chocolate chip cookies yesterday, so got to come home to those, which was nice.
None of them made it in here.
I should have brought some. I didn't even think about it. There was like so many. I should have brought you some.
Liquidated a little bit.
Oh well.
I think that's San Francisco. Must be right with those houses.
I think it's Belleville, Michigan.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
That's Belleville if Ford and GM had never sent any development offshore.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it'd look like. Big built up skyscrapers and everything. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 72 of the Daily Motor Podcast.
Yes. Do you need me to go get you some water? Because you already sound a little hoarse.
Yeah, I might as well.
From the fridge?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, just the ones that are sitting out in front of the fridge are fine.
Okay.
The ones that for some reason haven't made it into the fridge.
I see. Would you like to keep them entertained for the next 30 seconds?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Chris is going to walk through our garage that has been leaking natural gas, which was kind of interesting because yesterday I came in and our buddy Keone was working on a car and I said, kind of smells like gas in here. And he was kind of like, yeah, maybe. And I was like, okay, well, continue on with our day. I mean, I don't know. We just kind of brushed one of those things off maybe. And, because it's a shop, there's fumes of all sorts of things going around. And then we got an email this morning that said that our natural gas usage was much higher than it's ever been before. And I'm like, okay, well, we should get that checked out. Sure enough, in here this morning, thank you, with DTE, which is our energy provider, and they said there's indeed a leak.
That's unfortunate.
It is, especially because the only two gasoline appliances we have, which are two heaters, are mounted right above a 2003 Lexus IS 300.
Oh, do I need to move that car?
And a 2000, I assume, like 3 Ford Focus ZX3.
ZX3, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do I need to move my car? Probably
at some point. I think he said he's going to come in, a plumber is going to come out Friday.
Friday? Okay, well, Can you keep me in the loop? Because I don't want anyone else moving. Well, Stu or one of us would be fine, but I don't want some
Sure. Yeah.
person in that car that isn't one of us.
Plus, I do think you should do it because I have observed that some of the other people in the garage who move your cars don't let them warm up very much.
Okay.
It's kind of like a start gear.
Okay. Well,
yeah, so
not the end of the world, but
the Lexus hasn't started in a while, so I feel like you should be there.
That one especially needs to run for a sec. I wouldn't mind taking it out and spraying it off too, because it's gross.
Yeah, it'd be a good. And if Friday's a nice day, it might be a good time to do that and everything.
It's gonna be raining Friday.
Really?
That's okay. I can still spray it off if it's raining.
Sure. With the sky, the natural spray.
I'll help the sky out a little bit and let the sky finish it off.
I had to spend about 30 minutes in the self car wash with the Bronco Heritage on Friday.
Can we hear about what you guys did out there?
Yeah, so we were out at Michigan Motorsports Complex,
which you all should look up and experience as well.
Yeah, if you're in the general southeastern Michigan or northern Indiana or Ohio area, keep an eye on Michigan Motorsports Complex. The idea of the facility, it's an old quarter-mile karting oval or sprint track oval, as well as karting road course, this sort of thing, that they are essentially turning into a place for casual motorheads such as us and power sports enthusiasts to come and just play around, sign a waiver, toss them some cash, and go in there. And whether you want to do asphalt stuff or rallycross stuff or dirt stuff, go in there and have a good time. And Amos and I went and did just that last week. We had the 2023 Ford Bronco Heritage with the 7-speed manual. Well, 6, 7, depending on how you look at it.
6-speed with a crawler.
With a Chris and Charlie gear. We call it. Yeah. And then the Topher's BRZ, Subaru BRZ, rally spec.
BRZ Wilderness.
Yeah. And oh my gosh, he was a pig in mud out there. He was sending that thing.
At this point, we can just say he was the Topher in mud because it's the same.
Because it is this. Well,
it's his favorite thing.
Not implying that he is a pig.
Well, no, but pigs enjoy mud in the same way that he enjoys mud. Is what I'm saying.
Yep.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, Chris, within people I know personally, there are maybe 3 people that I would have felt comfortable, even like remotely comfortable enough to go out and ride in the car with him as aggressively as he was pushing it. Yeah. I mean, it was like
in the mud?
In the mud, on the track, like in the dirt, because that oval,
it's not very big.
Well, it's not very big, but you know how there's there's a bunch of dust and dirt just on it. It made for the perfect drifting situation. So Amos was flying into there, e-brake, clutch drop.
Oh my God. I can't
just
wait.
I
hope he filmed the whole thing.
Filmed everything.
Okay,
and we were filming from the outside too. So we got great coverage with his camcorder and everything.
Dude, I cannot wait to see all that.
I'm surprised he didn't run home and put it up that day. I'm really curious. And I'm also bummed I didn't shoot any with my phone. But oh my gosh, he was sending... This one random guy shows up to the track, friend of the owner's.
Okay.
And we're all just standing around, and he's like a middle-aged dude or whatever. And the owner is like, "Hey, you want to go out for a ride?" And Amos was like, "Yeah, I'll take you out." And there wasn't even like a warm-up of like, so this is what... we're just standing outside, all of a sudden,
10 times.
First lap, 10 times we just say, "Roar!" And Amos went so hard as to, he spun around accidentally and like stopped on track and everything, but then just fired ready to back up, just heading right back out. And
I love when we can see the boyish side of Chris, when he's just out absolutely ripping. That's my favorite thing. When we were out in the McLaren at M1,
God. And you guys just got to have a good time.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and it's cool doing this sort of thing because the limits are so much lower and you just get to have a good time. And if you want to go slow, you go slow. If you want to go fast, you go fast.
So you went out in the Bronco?
Yes.
I presume.
Mm-hmm.
Did Chris also drive the Bronco?
Yes.
Okay.
And he also sent that.
Okay. Did you send the Bronco?
Yes.
Did you have fun?
Yes.
Very good. How was the Bronco in kind of like a rally sort of situation?
Pretty good, because this is just a Sasquatch model, so no super advanced suspension or anything like that. But the manual transmission just allows you to wring its neck in a fun way. I was to the point where I was downshifting into first because you needed to be so geared down to get around some of those corners. The slight disappointment was that when you lock the rear diff in 2-wheel drive mode, even with StabiliTrak off, it still cut power for some reason. Now, if you left the diff open, then it would allow you to spin.
Interesting.
It was interesting.
It's probably self-preservation.
Yeah, I think so. Because we were trying to really, really full send, but 4-wheel drive high. Did you just get pinged?
Yes, our 220 has been flipped in Emily's garage. So the Charger's not sitting this anymore.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Yeah, the maintenance guy came and flipped it.
Okay, good.
So I didn't have to call you out as my
sure
as your millennial colleague.
Yes.
Anyways, sorry, I didn't mean to
No, you're fine. And
self-preservation of the diff.
Yeah, self-preservation of the diff. Oh, I forgot that there were drive modes in that car because it's a dial.
They don't really
around. I know. So both of us, I think, just drove the car in normal mode.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Yeah. I mean, I was still obviously put the pedal down in normal mode. It's going to give you 100% power, just like it does in sport
or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that car had. Well, I think it only had 5 drive modes. It's not like the Raptor where you get 10.
Sure.
I think it was eco, normal, sport. Mud ruts and sand.
That's the same as my FX4 Maverick.
Yeah, I think that's all it had. Yeah. So like maybe you could have used mud ruts, but
Yeah, whatever.
mud ruts is for like slow, I think.
I think Sport is honestly probably what I would have used because we were sending.
I would have used Sport.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was gone. I was in Florida for 5 days, so I wasn't able to attend with
Right.
Charlie and the Topher, but
And
I'm
then
jealous. But I saw all the photos of the cars covered in mud, and I was like, oh, I missed out on such a good time. But
It was
we have
super
all
fitting
summer,
because there
so-
were 3 cars that all had white wheels. 3 blue cars, all with white wheels.
Keone's car has white wheels.
Yeah, the Subaru WRX.
Oh, he has the Sparkos on it.
The
now?
STI. Yeah.
Sparkos back
Yep,
on.
and
He had the
then
Modas
Amos
on
and-
last time I saw it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and then Amos and I went out and did like slow crawling in the Bronco up like any of the more dramatic hills we could find, and it obviously took it with ease.
Yeah.
It was good. I sent it around the track a few times because we would do full like a half track lap and then out onto the oval and then around the oval and back. I went like up the oval banking side thing and like got a thumbnail, and we were the only 2 out there, so we were just having fun.
I'd be scared to roll that Bronco over.
Once you kind of realized that like it was decently solid, we were like drifting it.
Yeah. Well, I've been, so you weren't with us, but when we had that red Badlands Bronco 7-speed, I went out with Chris in that car on some back roads, and he was like rally stage, like full sideways, and it's the video's up on his channel. You can go watch it. It's not like it's a secret, but that was a lot of fun in that car.
This Heritage Edition Bronco was the first Bronco that I was like, I get it.
Really?
Yeah.
Finally.
Like I'm finally.
You know why, I think? Because it's a 2023. They've had a couple years to figure things out, and it actually feels like it's a well-built car now. It's not rattling all over the place and clunking, and it feels like a tight vehicle.
It really does. You don't like notice even that it's a removable top because it actually seems like a roof.
Yes.
And everything, there's no
pieces of it
rattles.
don't fall off anymore. It's great.
Yeah. And the thing is with the Heritage bits, it's like if you're going to have a silly car, go full silly. Like it's got the white grille, red lettering, white top, white dashboard. It just makes it seem like you're in, like it's the full package. Because if you're getting something like a Wrangler or a Bronco, unless you legitimately like live at Moab, you're kind of being a poser.
Yeah.
So at least go full, like I admit it, like I got this car to look like a 60s car. It's just like, it's kind of got that universal appeal.
It's cool. It's
in the way that like Mustangs do and stuff now. Yeah. So yeah, it was the first Bronco that I'm like, yeah, I dig this.
Yeah, yeah.
Because all the other Broncos have kind of been a little, bit,
And it's funny, when I was driving it last week, I was like, I think maybe this is the one that Charlie's finally gonna like. And it was genuinely, I did. I was like, this feels great. I'm like, I really hope Charlie will like this one. So I'm glad that you did.
Yeah, and for what it is. Not that bad of fuel economy. I was getting about 20 miles per gallon in mixed driving, which is well over EPA.
Yeah, and it's a Sasquatch, so it's got the big boys.
Yeah, big all-terrain tires.
And Goodyear Wranglers, which is funny that it's got Wrangler tires.
Sure. I liked that car. I would get that over the Raptor, absolutely. I mean, the Raptor's cool, but the Raptor's hideous.
It is hideous.
I took this photo the other day.
One drove by Chris and I it was a white one with painted flares, and it was gopping.
Oh.
It was like...
Side note, this is what my messages look like the moment I step away from my phone. Just, everything. Anyway.
Murphy's Law.
Yeah, let me just show, viewers won't really be able to see, but I want to show this to you. When was I coming back? I felt like you last week because I was like running all over the county. Right here.
Yeah, me every day running all over the place. Yeah, it just
doesn't look good.
It's massive. It takes up a whole lane of traffic, and it's also not good enough to excuse buying it over just a regular Bronco, in my opinion.
Because the regular Bronco is so good.
I have so much more fun driving regular 2.3 liter manual Broncos than I do the Raptor. And I think part of that is because I didn't get to take the Raptor out and do any sort of crazy
it's impressive,
but also I don't care. I'd rather just have something I can row through the gears and have fun with on a day-to-day basis. I don't want to have something that's only fun if I'm pushing it to the limit out in the dunes.
Well, here's the thing,
and it's hideous also.
The Bronco Raptor and the F-150 Raptor R and the TRX and all those sort of things, those are the off-roading equivalent to something like a McLaren 720 or a GT3 RS or even a GT4 RS and everything like that. Something like the normal Bronco is more akin to a Cayman S or something like that, in that what is actually going to be the best car for regular daily driving,
Yeah.
especially when you factor in costs. It's going to be the one that's actually designed for that. I mean, with the Raptor, you're talking about a purpose-built, no holds back sort of situation where people, the very few people who are actually going to push that thing to its limits, that's the ones it's truly intended for.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean 80% of buyers aren't just going to take it to Starbucks, but like if you're true to yourself, you're not going to have as good of a time in that
Yeah.
as one that's made. I mean, like your Cayman or something like that, you're going to be able to go out and actually row through a few gears and it's still going to sound great. It's going to ride better.
Be within the speed limit as well.
Right, right. Compared to something like a GT4 RS.
Yeah.
In the same way, I would have this Bronco Heritage that actually didn't cost that much either.
Yeah. It was like 50 grand.
Yeah, like 51,000.
Yeah.
That's pretty reasonable for a full-size four-door car like that, SUV, capable still. But I'd still have a Wrangler. So.
Oh my God. You all that, Charlie, and you still end with something that is wrong.
Actually,
why would you have a Wrangler? What is okay, I understand the Wrangler 392 because it's insane, but that shouldn't even count because it's like a whole different car. Why would you have a Wrangler over the Bronco? Exactly. See, he can't even think of why he would have it. It's smaller inside. It's terrifying to drive. You constantly have to do steering. Everything creaks and rattles. The interior feels like it's from the 1990s. It's looked the same forever.
3 main reasons.
And people put ducks on it when you're in public.
3 main reasons.
None of that happens with the Bronco.
1,
okay,
the colors. You can get awesome colors on the Wrangler.
You can get awesome colors on the Bronco.
Not as much as the Wrangler. The Wrangler has some of the best colors in the market.
What colors?
Jeep kills
what
things
colors?
like Mojito. And
what is Mojito?
It's like a cool, like kind of greenish blue. It's very, very fun colors on the Wranglers. 2.
Okay, so that's
the power retractable top, the Sunrider top.
Oh, the $8,000 top.
It's worth it to me, worth every single penny. Because we had this Bronco, but would it have been nice to take the roof off a few times? Yeah, but I'm not going to leave those roof panels sitting somewhere.
Put them in the trunk.
And then rattle around the whole time while we're sending it.
That's true.
Yeah. Jeep, you simply, and then when you get on the highway, you go, and then it's closed.
Yeah.
3,
that's a fair point. Okay.
The 4xe.
The 4xe.
Yeah, because then I could just plug it in and just drive around on silence. I could be off-roading and...
So you'd have a 4xe with a power retracting top in a bright color, which would probably be a $75,000.
About $60,000. Because I have spec'd them out.
They're only $60,000 for the power retractable top. Okay, I suppose
if you're getting it fully loaded,
can you get the power retractable top on lower trims?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a fairly like individualized option.
I see.
A lot of things on Jeeps are like just
the way
pick and choose,
which
like
I like. I like that.
Yeah,
I like when you're able to do that. But in my mind, I was thinking like probably a Rubicon.
Yeah,
with the power top because we had one and it was like $70,000.
Sure,
the silver one we tried.
I think Jeeps are so
maybe
popular.
That was a Sahara. I don't remember what that was.
And Wranglers are so popular, and people are so okay with like individuality with them that Jeep is okay with making more like bespoke specs.
That's great.
Kind of like Porsche is again.
Yeah,
because like if you're just building like Accords, you want them to be in certain
copy paste.
Yeah, because you don't want one that's not going to be unappealing on the CPO lot or something like that.
Sure.
But like a Wrangler, you can have a bright pink one with like a very weird combination of options, and someone will be like, "I love that. I'll take it." Yeah.
Well, I'd still have a Bronco, but I understand. Like I agree that the points you have raised are valid.
Yeah.
Especially for you because you love plug-in hybrids.
Yeah, I do. Which is funny because I often tell people that they're stupid, but I like them.
You do that.
Yeah.
Shall we move on to the plug-in hybrid we drove this week?
Oh,
we talked about the Bronco.
Yeah.
So, also this week, the 2023 BMW XM.
I never did get your thoughts on this car. So I wasn't able to add them to the... all I know is that you texted me and said this ride is horrendous.
Yeah, it's that car. I still don't fully get it because in my mind, before I drove it, I was hoping it would be this big, outrageous, unnecessary, but cozy big SUV because I figured that if you want something hardcore, you want something proven, you just go and you get an X5M, which is like about the same size, got the same engine, minus not being a plug-in hybrid.
Totally due for this year as well. Looks excellent.
The X5M.
2024. Yeah, new XM.
So I don't understand the
X5M.
Yeah, X5M. Yeah. So you're paying $160,000 for this exclusive XM
base price.
And it's loud over bumps. It
Very
rides
much.
like crap.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get a ton of room in the back.
No.
It's I don't know. I don't get it. Like I don't get like they're trying to rival the G-Wagon, you said? Is
Yeah.
that what they're
G-Wagon and like...
I all day would have a G-Wagon over that.
Would you?
Yes. At
G-Wagon rides
1000%.
worse.
But I would rather have a G-Wagon because it goes
Yeah, they did
I
kind
don't
of...
think the G-Wagon rides worse than that. You think it rides worse? What about NVH?
Yeah.
Over bumps?
Yeah. Because G-Wagon, you just... It's just like riding around in a military vehicle. It's like...
I haven't driven a G-Wagon in a while,
Yeah.
but I'd still rather have it.
And the last one you had was a G63, so all you heard was...
Yeah, the G-Wagon sounds better. The
Yeah, it does
XM,
sound
the
better.
XM sounds cool, but it sounds simulated. It
It's
doesn't
weird.
sound real.
I forgot to mention to you, did you ever drive it with fake sound off and floor it? It sounds really weird. You do it that way. Yeah.
I actually spent a decent amount of time. I spent like 2 full days, and I drove it quite a bit. So because I wanted to spend time in it.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, I didn't have a single chance to shoot a video for my personal channel, which I'm sad about. But I'm hoping Chris and I will get that car maybe at some point later.
Although Chris might not want it.
He might not want it.
He got a video, and I know it was not glowing.
I watched some of it, and I was like,
Is that already
"Ooh."
up?
Oh yeah. I was like, ooh, I agree with a lot of these things that he's saying, and
How damning was it?
not horribly. And to be fair, I only watched the first half, and he started with all the things he doesn't like about it. And I was like,
He might have not finished with anything else.
that's true. And
Could
I
have
was
just
like,
been
oh, I kind of agree.
like 15
But
minutes
like
of him.
the ride's
power washing.
bad. It's loud inside the car. It doesn't seem unique enough. I think they missed the mark with the car in the way that they should have just made it. They should have made it big and cozy, and it's just it doesn't feel special enough apart from an X5M.
Mhm. I think the buyers are very different.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I mean, I can see the argument of it should be hardcore because it's an M specific car.
Yeah.
So like I can see the argument for that. I just wish they would have gone the other way with it.
Mm-hmm. I think it's something like, what's that fancy grocery store you and Emily went to?
Erewhon.
Like there are things you can get in that store that you can get at Whole Foods for half the price.
Sure.
And Whole Foods is still very, nice and expensive.
So the
But there
XM is Erewhon and the
Yes.
X5M is Whole Foods.
Yeah. I think that's kind of the idea. Is there are
That
people
makes
who go to
sense.
Erewhon
No, for
and
sure.
price is not even like they wouldn't even consider the bill. Like
Yeah.
they're just like, I want this.
Yes.
I don't care that on paper I could get like 95% of the exact same thing
Yeah.
in this product that would actually probably suit me better. I think this looks cool. So
Yeah.
I'm going to buy it. So I think it's that plus it's kind of BMW's test bed to
Yeah.
see how those type of things work. And if it breaks and has to go into the dealer for 2 months, then the person owning it has 15 other cars to choose from.
Yeah. No, it's all about making a statement, that car.
And it does make a statement.
It would be better if it were worse. So
But then again, I think the most inexcusable thing is the NVH and the ride.
oh yeah. It's unacceptable for a $160,000 car.
Yeah.
It was weird because we drove it, and I suppose the roads aren't horrible out where we do our testing, other than just those couple areas. But and plus we're having conversations, so we don't fully like observe and hear NVH. But I took it home, and then Emily and I went to Ann Arbor to get bubble tea, and we're going down Washtenaw, and I'm like, oh my god, this is horrible.
Yeah.
Even Emily was like, geez, this thing is rough. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, this is a $160,000 luxury SUV with pillows in the back. Like, why is it riding like this?
Maybe that's why you need the pillows.
Yeah. One pillow over each ear. Or alternatively, you just blast that Bowers and Wilkins, which sounds excellent.
Yeah. So good.
That's a good mark. But
I
I was just kind of disappointed. The car was not, I mean, it was kind of what I expected, but I was really hoping to like it more, and I didn't really like it.
Yeah. The other thing, and you're not alone. I know a lot of reviews have kind of been like Throttle House, like tore it up and stuff.
I need to watch some. I haven't watched a single review. Well, I watched a little bit of yours that you shot for Chris's channel, and I watched.
And those
a
were
little
like
bit.
ideal roads. Like I had it in a pretty good situation because I got to like open it up.
Yeah.
It was like long
So-
stretches. I was chilling.
Only reviews I've watched on the car were Charlie's review and the Topher's review. So I need to watch like some, because I need
Break
to be
out of your
validated.
bubble.
It's so funny. I brought the car over to Chris's, and we streamed it on Twitch, and I was like, Chris, you need to drive first. I'm like, I need you to get impressions because I need to feel validated on this car that there are things that are not right. And he validated me pretty much right away. So
Keep getting texts from spam.
no,
And
it's okay.
distracted.
No, you're fine.
There's also the element that we are a bit probably too cozy and familiar with like BMW interiors that we're like, oh, this doesn't seem like that much different than the 760 we were just in. But I do think whenever I showed that car to like someone who isn't like in luxury cars all the time the way we are, they were like, oh my gosh, this interior
the headliner's
amazing.
sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was showing Adam when I was up at
okay,
Antique, and he was like, oh my God, this is so, he was like taking all kinds of photos and stuff. And he thought it was really cool. So, I mean, I think that kind of validates your point. However, you bring up the 760i. In what world would you choose the XM over the 760i?
In a more analog world. The 760i I liked, but there was a lot about that car that I didn't feel like changing settings because I knew it was going to be a pain in the ass. Like, it just, even like the touching the rotary knob.
You don't have to change settings if you own it. What do you have to change settings for?
But I even mean like adjusting climate and like radio. It all felt
climate and radio is the same in the XM. It's all iDrive 8.
There was something about the XM that felt a little bit. It's the rotary
stupid.
knob,
the 760i is the stupid drive modes, and not even drive modes. The interior modes, like
that doesn't help.
That are
screw everything up.
That screw everything up.
You can't remedy it.
Yeah, and I'll agree with you that the iDrive knob in the XM was the old style one, which feels nicer than the one in the 7. Yeah, you're right. It was like almost like haptic, like it didn't click down because it's crystal.
But no, I mean, you're right. The fact you could get a 760i or maybe even the new upcoming 770i or whatever, whatever they're going to call it.
i7 M70.
Sure.
Which is full EV.
Full EV, okay.
Yeah.
And then you could have that and you get the two-tone paint. You get every little bell and whistle and feature you want for the same price as a base XM.
No-brainer. I told Tori, I said, go to the BMW dealer, drive a 760i because his lease is up on his Cayenne here in a few months.
Doesn't he want to
go and get a 7?
Doesn't he want a SUV?
He's not sure yet.
Oh.
He's between a few cars, and commenters weigh in if you have advice. S580, 760i, GLS of some sort, probably a GLS Maybach, or a I think that's it. Sorry, S580, Maybach S-Class, GLS Maybach, or the new 7 Series are kind of what he's thinking. Because he's always been kind of a Mercedes guy. He tried the Cayenne just because he was curious, and he doesn't really like it.
Cayennes aren't great luxury cars.
No.
Porsches aren't great luxury cars.
No, they're not.
People think they are. They're great driver's cars.
I'm glad he did it because now he like knows.
Yeah.
And I was telling him this. I was like, I personally don't think I would get a Cayenne like for daily driver duty. But I said, we had one in LA, and that Cayenne up in the canyons was seriously impressive. And he's like, I've never driven mine hard around corners.
Yeah, because you guys in Florida and Chicago.
I know.
Like, where are you going to drive spiritedly?
Yeah.
Either of those places.
Cayenne was not a great choice for him.
No.
But he didn't ask my opinion before he got it. So that was 3 years ago, almost.
There is a new GLE out, so that's a possibility.
Well, the GLS also got a refresh for 24.
But why does he need that much space? Why do you
likes
GLE?
it.
Because GLE is more Cayenne size.
I know, but he likes like the big body.
And so does Anne Marie, I suppose.
Yeah.
Would he consider something like a CPO Bentayga Speed?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
that would be
he was even saying, he was like, I might just get like a 2021 something.
Because cars like that would depreciate
Maybach.
so dramatically over the first year.
Dude, yeah.
That
Maybachs are like $100,000 cheaper if you get them 2 years old.
Right. And you could get a CPO warranty that still lasts him a few years. The whole time he's going to own the car.
Yeah.
I guess the only downside is then when you go to sell, it's really cheap. But it's going to be, you're going to lose regardless. If 3 years or 5 years old, it's going to be worth
and if you're
$20.
leasing, also.
Versus bond. Yeah. You'd have nothing if
you'd have nothing.
Lease. Yeah. That's
so I don't know what to tell him. I told him to go drive a new 7 Series because I think he'll really like it. He thinks his Cayenne is like the slowest car in the world. It's a base Cayenne.
Yeah.
It's still like a $90,000 car. It's got premium plus and everything, but it's just the base engine. So it's like 380 horsepower. Like it's quick. I think it's quick.
People need to be more aware of the Alpinas. We are not doing our job well enough.
I know.
For people
I told him that. I said, go get an Alpina XB7.
It's such a sick car.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I was like, you'd love it.
And if he gets a pre-facelift, a pre-LCI, it looks better. And it's just like, actually, one of your favorite cars we've ever had, probably.
The Alpina XB7? Oh, yeah. I loved that car.
Yeah.
Massive wheels, and it still managed to be quiet and have a good ride.
What a concept.
Interesting.
BMW XM couldn't translate.
Yeah.
that.
Well,
It's almost like they needed.
God, you know what's scary about that is BMW bought Alpina a couple years ago. So I wonder if all the Alpinas are just going to be horrible.
Ruined now. Well, even more reason to get previous model year too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah, the XM. Fortunately, they probably only plan on selling like 5,000 a year, so it's probably not a big deal.
Yeah, I'm curious to see. They're not going to, XMs are going to be worth nothing in like 5 years. They're going to be like 50 grand.
Am looking forward to the label red though. Even more power, even more gopping. I'm about it. Cool.
It's like an XM with a bloody nose.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. Speaking of that, I had a bloody nose so bad 2 nights ago. I typically I get bloody noses.
You've had them on the podcast before.
Yeah, right. Yeah, viewers have seen. They typically stop within 5-10 minutes or whatever.
Yes.
This bloody nose was so bad that it woke me up because it was like going down my throat.
Yeah, that's not good.
And it just bled. It was just like not stopping. I was like in the bathroom, like I was trying all the things, like head down, pinching, dripping into the toilet, all these sort of things. And finally, I held for like 10 straight minutes. And it like slowed enough that I could that it finally stopped.
Go back to bed.
Yeah, I was up for like 40 minutes.
What causes that?
I have no idea. I mean, people would say like dry air and stuff like that, but like it's just our house. Like I don't. It's maybe a little bit drier than it's typically been, but
can it be caused by allergies or no?
Theoretically,
are you allergic to cats?
No.
How sure?
I'm not allergic to anything.
That can develop later
other
on.
Than like allergy, like seasonal.
I know, but you can develop allergies to things later on in life.
I suppose. I think I'd just be allergic to being allergic.
You would be. You'd be allergic to degens.
Degens, yeah. That's more so you, but yes. Yeah.
Speaking of that, I was editing the 7 Series fuel test that went up this morning, and there's a clip in there where I'm like going down to get onto the highway, and I'm like coming up, and there's this Bronco Sport in the left lane. And it had a brake light out. I was like, that's weird. That's like a brand new car. Why does it have a brake light out? And as I'm saying that, because I like talk to myself in these videos. I always cut it out. But I'm like, oh, the car's got a brake light out. And then all of a sudden, they like yeet over into my lane. So I'm on the horn. I'm like, what the are you doing?
In the 7 Series.
In the 7 Series, yeah.
Should have left that in. People would have loved that.
I should have left it in, yeah. Could have just bleeped myself because I was like, what the are you doing? Stupid. You know what they were doing is I was coming up. I was in the right lane. They were in the left. They were trying to merge onto 94 towards Detroit, but they were already past the merge point. So they just decided they were going to get over. Well, they didn't. I didn't let them get over. I was on the horn, and they quickly went back to the left. But as soon as I passed them, they cut across what's essentially 3 lanes of traffic to get over to merge.
Went like off road practically.
No, they did. They went over the gravel.
Wow.
Some people just like don't care. They're born, they're disgusting, and then they die. That's how it is.
Welcome to the Stellantis dealer.
Oh my God. Well, this is a Bronco Sport.
Yeah, I know. That's bad.
With a brake light out. How does that happen?
Yeah.
The oldest it could be is 2 years old, and it already has a brake light out.
Yeah. We need to get another one of those Bronco Sports. It's a good little car.
Yeah, we need the Heritage Bronco Sport.
Yeah, you're right.
Because that would excuse actually getting another one. Even though I guess it's been 2 years, so it would be a newer model year. But the Heritage would be cool to have. I
wouldn't buy a Heritage Bronco Sport. I'd definitely get a Heritage Bronco, but the Bronco Sport Heritage just seems like a poser car.
Yeah, but we should have it and see what it's like.
Yeah. I'm about it.
And I bet it'll drive like a Bronco Sport.
Which is pretty good.
Which is great. No, I recommend Bronco Sport to people.
Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. I told Emily to get one, but I'm glad she got. Oh, we talked about Emily's new car yet?
No, go for it.
Yeah, so Emily finally decided, or she finally got a new car. She got a CX-30 Turbo.
Mm-hmm. In Soul Red Crystal?
Soul Red over white, which is like her ideal spec. So shout out to Doug from Suburban Mazda of Troy for making everything happen. He found her, I should say. It's her car. He found her the ideal spec. Mm-hmm. Dealer traded for it. We showed up in the morning. He already had it ready to go. It was washed, everything. We were in and out of there in like an hour and a half.
That's nice.
It was crazy how quick we were in and out of there. I was expecting, we got there first thing in the morning because I was expecting to be there for like 5 hours because every time I've ever been with a parent or a family member buying a new car, it takes forever. But it helped that she already knew what she wanted. They already had a car. She didn't need to test drive it because she's driven plenty of CX-30s. So,
pricing was already set, right?
Pricing was set. So literally we walked in. The salesperson that he chose, showed us, gave her the whole tech tour and everything. She was like, I already know how to do it. Before he was out there, I was like, please just let him do his job.
Sure.
Let him do his thing, because it's what he's got to do. And I sat in the back and I kept my mouth shut and I didn't say anything. Let him do it. He did a great job. He got through everything. He did a great job showing her there's not too much tech in a CX-30.
I understand how from Mazda's perspective, it's important to make sure they feel comfortable using the interface, because if you don't, then you get frustrated with the car.
But I mean, she already knew how to use everything, but it was nice to, I was paying attention too, because I was like, oh, it'd be nice to get a little refresher and kind of, see what he recommends. So
is that screen a touch screen at all, even when stopped, or is it full no touch? Because I think it's full no touch.
I think the CX-30 is full no touch. You get the touch screen with the CX-5 when you're in CarPlay.
Yeah.
Or stopped or whatever.
Yep.
But anyways, yeah, that was great. So the little tech tour, and then got beat up in the F&I office.
Did you?
Yeah, they're always like that, dude. They
try to give her wheel and tire and things like that.
Yeah, she bought the prepaid service just because it was literally cheaper to buy the prepaid service than it would have been. It's like, she got it for like, well, I don't really know if I want to say how much she got it for. I don't want to get them in trouble, but it made sense for her to get that, because we calculated it, and it's like, it would have been double the price to pay service every time.
Right. And someone like her, she's going to go to the Mazda dealer.
She's going to go to the Mazda dealer. Right.
Exactly. It's not like she was going to be changing the oil in her garage or something.
Right. So it made sense. So she went ahead and got that, which at least I felt better getting something from him, so he didn't get nothing.
Yeah.
So prepaid service, which is oil change, tire rotation, every 5,000 miles or whatever is included.
For how long? 3 years?
Duration of the lease. 3 years.
It's a lease,
yeah. Duration of the lease, which is I think she got a 3-year lease.
Okay.
So
cool, man.
So yeah, she's really happy with it. It adds an extra element of like happiness, because she gets to drive that to work and back, and she has fun making her turbo noises and going into sport mode, merging onto the highway properly.
Yeah.
I didn't realize 0 to 60 on that car is like 5.8 seconds.
That's a quick car. Yeah. No, CX-30 is a great setup. I remember the first time I drove one, I'm just like, this is an excellent car.
It is a great car. Yeah. Just hope you don't have to use the back seat, but she never does. So
whatever. No, Emily's a pretty ideal spec for that.
She's like the perfect buy.
She's like when you go to an event and some old guy's like, who do you think the intended buyer is for this car? And then the marketing team is like, well, we envision high earning young millennials, like older Gen Z, or empty nesters, like got a condo or something like that, and like work a job, and they want to look cool. Emily's literally like that person.
Yeah, and she's short, so she can sit up higher, which is kind of what made the CX-30 make sense over just a regular Mazda 3, so she can sit up a little higher.
Well, and it's got cladding, so she can go on adventures,
and she can run over curbs and things, and
and she's not a D-Gen, so the white interior works.
Yep. Yep. She'll hopefully,
as long as she just keeps tops on her smoothies, she'll be good.
Oh my god, I know. And she also doesn't wear jeans a ton, so the blue. What I've noticed in Matthew's Tesla is that his whole driver's seat is like blue, because he wears jeans.
The Silverstone interior inside the XM was decoloring.
I saw that. Yeah, the driver's seat was like not good. No. And how many miles were on that car?
4,000.
4,000.
Yeah.
Oof.
40,000 journalist miles. I'm telling you, a lot of people getting in and out, being rough on it.
That's true. A lot of people getting in. And I imagine that car was at the launch event.
Probably.
Did you say that was a German?
I think it was.
It was like a European Spark car. So it's probably pre-pro.
It might be a pre-pro.
So it'll just get crushed.
Yep.
That's okay.
Mm-hmm. This Ariya is a pre-pro. Did you see that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Said it in big red lettering on that Monroney you were reading yesterday. Or it wasn't a proper Monroney.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, well, all right. We got one last car to talk about, and I don't even remember what it was. Oh, the Supra.
Toyota Supra six-speed manual
Supra. I've already talked about this car on the podcast, so it's your turn.
I liked it more than I did at the beginning of the week.
Oh, that's great. Spend some time in it.
Didn't get to drive it as much as I wanted to. Okay, I've forgiven you for having it sit sequestered in the garage for
I know that
many
was
days.
That was a bad I was literally worked like a 13-hour day on Wednesday, and then came home, and then I got up in the morning. I was like, Charlie needs that car. So yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. But I did drive it a good bit, a little bit there on Sunday, and then yesterday filming it. I like that the Supra still has flaws, because it's what gives a car a little bit of character. We joke a lot of the time, worse is better.
Yeah.
But it gets the core things right. They've buttoned down the rear end so it feels confident enough. It's still kind of squirrely, still fun. The powertrain is excellent. I love the motor. Simple, just you either got sport or normal. Like it's just very easy tech suite to use.
I love that. I love only having one drive mode or
Yeah.
2 drive modes.
Yep. And so all the meat and potatoes things are proper. And so the things that it screws up, like many model years now, and they still can't build a gauge cluster that you can properly see in the
Or
sunlight.
infotainment screen.
Yeah, or infotainment screen. And it's a cramped interior, but again, that kind of adds to, you really feel like you're in a proper built sports car. You don't feel like it's something that's trying to do it all, like this Integra we have, which we'll talk about in a minute. It does kind of feel like it's trying to be everything, so it loses some of the spark.
That's what we like so much about the Supra is it's a like you have to make sacrifices.
Yeah.
It can't do everything, but that's what makes it so cool. Is it's a purpose built sports car, and that's what it's for.
Yeah.
So,
another thing is it is a bit pricey, but I'll tell you why that's
like
a good thing.
59,000. That's
all,
not too bad.
Think of what I mean. You can get a Mustang GT for like 40.
Yeah, but then you'd have to have a Mustang.
Well, right. And so what I'm saying is the good thing about it costs so much is it makes it a little bit scarce. There's a bit of an exclusivity.
Exclusive.
That car first came out for the 2020 model year. I pulled up here yesterday morning.
God, has it been that long?
Yeah.
Jeez.
And one of the
old.
individuals at a building that we work next to here was like, that's a new Supra, isn't it? And I'm like, yeah, you know. He's like, I've never seen one in person. And
I believe it.
Yeah, I believe it too. You
never see
really
'em.
don't see many.
No.
So that's a car that you could still go buy for a reasonable-ish price, you know, and go to a Cars and Coffee, and you could very well be the only one with that with a Supra.
Yeah.
Whereas if you get a GR86 or Mustang or any of these other sports cars that are again very good cars,
Yeah.
there's going to be 15 of them at the Cars and Coffee that year.
Sure. How much is like a 2020 Supra? Like 40
used
grand?
these days?
Like 40
No
grand?
idea. Yeah.
I can
Not sure.
check.
I mean, it's going to be an automatic. and
Well,
it's-
of
and
course.
it's not
But the
gonna handle as
automatic,
well and
the
stuff.
automatic's
No, the automatic's good too.
Yeah, the
I honestly,
8-speed's great.
This manual wasn't compelling enough for me to be like, I have to get it.
I was going to bring up the fuel economy test.
Okay.
You got 35 mpg in the yellow Supra
Okay.
2 years ago.
Mhm.
I got 32
Okay.
in the blue Supra.
Okay.
So you sacrifice about 3 mpg for the
Give or
manual.
take.
Give or take.
Yeah,
obviously
there's
we had
certain-
different scenarios, but I was looking
Similar-ish.
at EPA,
Mhm.
and I think EPA it's pretty consistent. EPA is like 26 on the manual, and I think it's 31 on the automatic or
Is that
something.
mixed?
That's highway.
Really?
Highway.
26 is all they gave them?
They gave it 26, and I got 31 or 32. I was
Oh.
I was definitely got over 30. So
Okay. Yeah, the EPA test is not kind of manual cars. So I believe
it makes sense that it was that much lower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you bringing up a...
I literally ran
Thing
that
of
test
interest.
the night before I left to Florida, and I was like, "Oh my god,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm glad you did it, though. Big
yeah, of
good,
course."
Good
You know,
consumer advice.
I'm committed.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. So, here's the thing: we've got a lot of 2-liter Supras
Mm.
that are like, "Oh my god, there's one for 34 grand with 91."
Someone
Hey,
drove the...
it's a
tits off that one.
2021.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, the interior is gross. With 91,000 miles on a 2-liter Supra. So someone drove this like 45,000 miles a year. That's insane.
Hmm.
Look at how
Yeah.
like greasy and nasty this interior looks.
Someone ate a lot of food on road trips in that.
It looks like someone took a whole tube of Armor All and just like
I enjoyed this car more than the BMW M2. I
I
really
believe
did.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the M2 feels like a little bit nicer inside. This car feels a
we
little on the cheaper side. The Supra does, so it doesn't quite feel like a $60,000 car.
No.
But the M2 just is lifeless to drive compared to this thing. This every little corner you can kind of like.
Oh, this is a 2-liter Supra.
Sliding around and stuff. In fact, our good buddy Joe was the one who did the swap yesterday on the car because he knew we had the Supra.
Oh, and he wanted to drive
to
it?
get out of the office a little bit. He's like, I'll go do the swap. So we got to drive an Integra down here and a Supra back. And he's like, yeah, it was a good day
I like
for
when
that.
Joe does the swap.
Yeah. So we chatted for a while
So
and stuff.
let me see.
Are you trying to filter out?
Yeah, but they're all 2 liters, so I need to filter cylinders and say 6.
Are you sure it's not listed under like GR Supra or something like that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. That's
All
the
right.
other kind of confusing thing with
Cheapest
Toyotas is having to put the GR in there.
Cheapest 6-cylinder Supra is $45,990. It's done 41,000 miles. It's silver. It has an aftermarket spoiler and front lip and
Yeesh.
turn signal, or not, reflectors. It's got like black reflectors. Let's see if it's got a clean Carfax, because that could be a factor as well. It could have a It's been in an accident. It still has a clean title, but it's been in an accident. Not a major accident, though, at least allegedly. So, yeah.
I'm just going to send this text message here real quick.
You're okay? Yeah, so it looks like even get yourself in a 3-liter automatic Supra that's 2 years old. You're looking at high 40s. So, we'd probably recommend you just go and get a new one, because how much is a new?
I was going to say that. I definitely
Yeah, because you're like the cheapest one, $46,000 for a 3-year-old car with 40,000 miles that's been in an accident. You could just go and get a brand new one for like $5,000 more. We definitely wouldn't recommend you get a 2-liter Supra. I was not a big fan of the 2-liter Supra, but if you want the looks of the Supra and you don't necessarily care about powertrain, I guess you could go and have a 2-liter. If you just want to drive around and flex that you own a Supra. But yeah, otherwise, go brand new. A lot of these are in like the low $50,000 range. So might as well go and spec one out exactly how you want it. Oh, the
Supra's
Supra.
good.
Yeah, super good car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd take it over the M2. And I, even though it's a bit niche, I appreciate that it still exists.
It's not a lifeless missile or soulless missile.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cars.
This week at Daily Motor Headquarters. Well, actually, did you want to discuss your stunt driving school at all?
We can do that after this week.
Okay. We have the 2023 Acura Integra A-Spec technology package with the 6-speed manual. You have to get the most expensive version to get the manual. You can't just get a base.
That. Yeah, they do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's like that with the Civic too. You have to get like a touring.
No, you can get the Sport.
A Sport.
You can't get the base motor. You gotta get the 1.5.
Right.
Yeah. So it's a little bit more.
Yeah.
But it is kind of frustrating with the Teg because like as an enthusiast, you probably wouldn't want to have to spend all that money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah.
A lot of brands are doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Porsche won't sell you a base 911. You have to get the Carrera T or the Carrera S.
Right. We've both driven the Integra around a little bit before, even though it hasn't been featured yet on the channel.
Which is crazy.
I know. It sometimes just works like that. We're a little later on. And I quite like it. I would like to try the CVT car, though.
Of course you would. And Charlie is a CVT enthusiast, as we know.
Well, here's the thing.
In certain scenarios.
The manual transmission itself in this car is great. It's the motor that I don't love with the manual. It rev hangs so much, and it's such a lightweight flywheel sort of situation that if you kind of drive with this sort of like handoff situation with the clutch pedal and the accelerator, it ends up blipping the throttle early, and it like jerks you around.
Or like
yeah. And so you have to kind of relearn yourself how to drive manual, and you have to fully release the clutch pedal before you get back on the accelerator. And that like takes some revs back down. And it's, for being a sporty car, it's kind of a lazy like situation. At least with the Supra, there was some rev hang, but the motor was heavy enough that as soon as you let the clutch out, it like yanked it down.
Yeah.
So it wasn't as big of a deal. It wasn't as noticeable.
Sure.
Whereas this car is so light that like if you get on the accelerator a moment too early, it springs the revs and it's jerky. So I am gonna daily drive it some more. In fact, I gotta make sure I'm out of here at a decent time here because I gotta get up to Novi.
Oh wow, how long have we been going for?
49 minutes.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
Quick.
Yeah, we're almost done.
Mm-hmm. But I'd just be curious to see how the CVT car acts. And, is it kind of like the WRX? So it's just still like, this is a fine transmission for this car? Or is it
it's probably like the Civic, which is a great CVT. It's like the only CVT that I've ever really liked.
Have you driven this? You mean the 10th gen Civic?
No, the new Civic.
That's not a CVT. That was a hybrid. That was a direct.
There's no Civic hybrid.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said
Civic.
Accord.
No, Civic.
The Civic. Yes. Yeah. Sorry, you're right.
The Civic touring that we had.
Right.
Yeah,
so that's a fine
probably
CVT.
drives just like that. Yeah,
right.
That's CVT's fine.
Yep. So I'd be curious to try that. And then you can get one cheaper. But at least with this car, you have the ELS sound system. It sounds pretty good. The ELS 3D and stuff.
Can we move on to the other car? Because I haven't...
You have much more to say about it.
Yeah, but I haven't driven the Integra or even looked at it or sat in it.
Fair enough.
So I don't
the
know.
other car we have this week is the 2023 Nissan Ariya.
I have a question for you about
Evolve
that car.
E-Force.
Wait, whatever.
Evolve Plus E-Force.
which is a trim. Does it have a branded audio system?
I don't think so.
Because I couldn't
can't see
find
any Bose,
Bose symbols, and I checked the Monroney, and it
Mhm.
didn't
And
say
it doesn't
anything.
list
It didn't
that.
even list anything about a sound system at all.
Mhm.
It doesn't sound bad.
Mhm.
Uh,
I'm looking it up.
but I was just like, I don't know what's in that. I mean, it's certainly not bad. It's not great, but it's like very middle of the road, which is why I was kind of curious what was in it.
Ariya Bose sound system optional. You have to order the Platinum Plus to get the Bose.
Okay, yawn.
The all-wheel drive Platinum Plus E-Force trim starts at $60,000.
Ours is like 60 grand.
No,
It's
this
like
one's
58.
Is it? It's like 56. I think.
56.
Yeah.
So we don't have Bose.
Correct. Yeah, that's interesting.
Did you
Apparently, it's only a 6-speaker sound.
Did you do a
system,
sound
but I thought there was a
system
subwoofer in there. I haven't yet. I mean, we just got the car yesterday.
Yeah. Well, I figured maybe yesterday you would have gone out and been an overachiever.
I did shoot 6 videos, but I mean that was the two raps, 2 intros, and 2 winding roads. So yeah, no, at that point I was done. I hadn't eaten lunch.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. The Ariya's a strange car because initially I was like, this is pretty cool before I drove it. Like before, when I was just like doing the walk around,
Sure.
checking out the trunk and the back seats and everything. Do you notice the driving position's a bit high?
Yeah, I can't get
Can't get
comfortable.
very low.
I've changed my driving position like 4 times.
Have you
Can't.
slid around at all yet in the seat? Like
I haven't
have you-
driven it very
you haven't driven
hard.
it sportly.
No.
No.
Though it is very fast.
Very fast.
And it delivers its power differently than any other EV I've driven.
Mhm.
Because usually EVs, they hit super hard and then they kind of taper off. The Ariya doesn't hit hard and it continues to pull.
Yeah.
Like
It's almost like they geared it differently.
It feels, yeah, right. It feels faster. So usually EVs feel fast when you hit it from like 20 to 60. The Ariya feels faster when you floor it from like 50 to 80.
Which,
It's interesting how that works.
yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it doesn't make much sense.
No, it doesn't at all.
Because people spend 95, theoretically, if you're one of those, ninnies who likes to follow the law, all the time should be spent below 75, 80 miles per hour or so. So why does it allegedly get from 80 to 120 very quickly?
Oh, does it allegedly?
Allegedly.
Interesting. I haven't
Yeah,
tried that.
If you're driving in Germany on the Autobahn.
Oh, true.
But
Yeah, you tried that when you were in Germany last week?
yeah, that got delivered in Germany. I did
German delivery.
German delivery.
Sure,
for
at the
Ariya.
at the Porsche factory.
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
Mhm. Took it out on the Autobahn. They shipped it here. Yeah.
That's nice.
So yeah, this is gonna. I said this about both the Integra and the Ariya in the intros. Is that these are cars that we will genuinely need the time this week to like soak in.
Yeah.
To give our final impressions. It's not one of those cars you could just go do a quick drive and have a perfectly nuanced review. Whereas like, I think at Mama, I'm hoping they'll have a Dodge Hornet, and I'm assuming we'll be
sure they
able to
will.
review that entire car within 20 minutes driving it.
Yes.
Like, I think it'll be like,
They might even have the Alfa Romeo Tonale,
yeah, perhaps.
which is the same car.
Just make me hungry for calzones.
Yeah, well, the Tonale is all, I think they're all plug-in hybrid. All of them are. Whereas the Hornet, you have to get the top trim to get a PHEV.
Just nervous about owning a car like that plug-in hybrid. Can you think?
I don't think the car is going to be very good. I'm being real. I don't think there's anything that car could do that could, like, unless it's like super entertaining to drive, which it won't be. It's going to be like a Jeep Compass. Maybe slightly better because it has I think it has a proper 8-speed automatic. Maybe.
2 considerations.
Okay.
1. Can you picture a Dodge Hornet plug-in hybrid that it was purchased off lease 5 years from now or so at some house in Metro Detroit? How often do you think they're going to be charging it?
It's never.
Like it's just going to be driven completely dead all the time, right?
Also, it should be the other way around, right? Like it's built by Alfa Romeo, styled by Dodge.
Yeah.
That's just usually you'd want someone
the other
who
way
knows a
around.
little bit more what they're doing to do all of the mechanical bits. Let
And
the
then let the
Italians
Italians
design
style
it
it.
because the Italians are very good at styling.
Right.
However, this time the Italians have done all the tech and then the Americans designed it.
Second thing,
Okay.
maybe it's not that weird of a question about why we don't get many Stellantis press vehicles.
That is valid. Do you think they listen to the podcast?
I never thought so until right now. And then maybe I was just like thinking more through it. I'm like, we don't really get many like Dodges or Jeeps or Alphas or
Yeah.
Chryslers.
We want them.
Yeah, which is weird because I actually we genuinely let's go through Dodge lineup. Hornet TBD.
Yep.
Durango I quite like.
I like the Durango.
Quite like the in all its specs. Charger.
I like the Charger.
Quite like the Charger.
Yeah.
Challenger.
I like the Challenger.
Quite like the Challenger. So that's Dodge.
Okay. So we like every single Dodge. Thank you.
Yep. Chrysler, the Pacifica.
I like the Pacifica.
Quite like Pacifica.
Yeah.
I have talked poorly about the Voyager, but only because of the marketing situation.
Yes.
I'm sure the car itself is
It's
fine.
fine.
Because it's just a Pacifica that's
Yeah.
a lower trim.
What about the Chrysler 300?
You know, I quite like the 300 as well.
They and they just came out with
the final edition.
the final edition, which we should try and get.
Yeah, so I quite like the 300. I think it's smart for someone to buy. Like if you just want to own a car for 10 years and you don't want to have to buy Japanese,
Yeah.
it's good to get a car like that that's been very ironed out.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it's comfortable
from the
and a lot of
1990s.
space. It's not going to get great fuel economy, but like you'll make up for that in your very cheap repair costs.
Yes.
AutoZone will have every part.
Okay.
Okay,
Now let's move on
so
to
we like all the
Jeep.
Chrysers.
Oh, sorry, Ram also though.
Ram, love the
Like,
1500,
we like the Ram,
love the
and we also like
2500,
the TRX.
love the 3500. Have talked poorly about the ProMaster before, but I feel like,
Isn't that just a,
just a van.
Fiat Duplo?
that's a ProMaster City, I think.
Oh.
ProMaster is the big one.
Okay.
Like
Anyways,
the Sprinter.
so
essentially.
whatever.
Yep. Okay.
Vans
So
don't matter.
most Rams. Yep.
Going through Jeep is where I can kind of understand some things.
Jeep, Compass, new Compass, very nice inside,
Yeah, but I don't like it.
very good looking. And now, didn't they fix the motor
They
situation?
did, but we haven't driven it yet.
Okay, so once we drive it, probably decent.
Renegade is gopping.
I like the Renegade. You could get it in a manual for a long time. I don't know if you still can, but you could get the manual. I don't think it's gopping. I think it's quite little. It's a cute little car.
Well, we disagree on that. Anyways,
Okay.
continue. I've driven
Cherokee.
I've driven a manual Renegade, by the way. Yeah.
So have I. They're
Mhm.
kinda
Anyways, continue.
cool. Yeah. Well, you have that friend who wanted a manual car.
Yeah,
had
well,
to
she
be
has a manual
automatic,
Compass now. I should film that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's another pro for the Compass. You can get it in a
Get a
manual.
manual. Solve all the problems.
Cherokee. Fine.
My
little
mom
car.
had one. It was fine.
Yeah.
A lot of transmission issues, but they've probably sorted that out.
Benefit
by
of the
now.
doubt. Grand Cherokee.
Love
Quite
it.
liked that car.
Love the Grand Cherokee, but we had
It
a
did
lot of
break.
electrical issues.
Right. So again, this isn't us. We loved the car. If it hadn't broken,
Yeah.
absolutely
Grand
loved
Cherokee's
it.
great. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was telling someone the other day that they should have a Grand Cherokee. Anyways.
Grand Cherokee L, same thing.
Yep, great.
Grand Wagoneer,
Yeah, I like the
quite
Grand
like it.
Wagoneer. Yeah, it was overwhelming, but
a little expensive, but so is the Navigator, and so is the
I like that.
So is the Escalade. And I think for me it would go Navigator, Grand Wagoneer, Escalade.
Yeah.
Their
Yep.
order in which I'd purchase them. Escalade V notwithstanding. And if Jeep's smart, they should do like a 392 version of the
What's happening?
Grand Wagoneer and make it loud.
They do.
So.
You can get a 392 in the Grand Wagoneer.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like maybe do a Hellcat.
Oh, okay. I was
Yeah,
going to say
Trail
the one we had was a 392.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
6'4".
So pretty much all the Jeeps. Oh, and then the Wrangler. I already talked this.
I don't like
podcast
the
about
Wrangler,
how I
but
like the
Charlie loves the Wrangler.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like the Wrangler 392.
Yeah.
So I like a Wrangler.
And then we get to
What else do they make?
Alfa Romeo. Love the Giulia.
Love the Giulia.
Love the Stelvio.
Love the Stelvio.
So it's the people who buy their products that I don't.
We just
particularly
poke
care
fun
for.
at it. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not. I mean, we like the cars.
Yeah. There are many more
We
Stellantis
would
products
like them
I would
more if we had them more.
Right. I'd pick a lot of Stellantis products over a lot of Ford products,
Yeah.
a lot of GM products, a lot of Nissan products.
They've also
like,
stopped making everything that was disgusting, like the Journey, and the Dart and the 200 and the Avenger. What else was horrible? Oh, the Jeep Patriot. That was disgusting.
Yeah. So that they're improving.
Yeah. They've killed all the things that were bad.
Mm-hmm. Good. All right. Well, we're not gonna have time for CoPart because I quite need to leave. But thank you all so much for watching, and we'll talk about Chris's ZX2 school next week.
Yes,
as well.
I went to a stunt driving school and passed. Which
He's
is why
the
I have
only
this-
one who passed.
Well, there were only 3 of us, but
still.
yeah.
And
So I got this cool T-shirt.
is it Bobby Dre? Oh, looks like Bobby Dre.
Emily said the same thing. She's like, Bobby Dre. I was like, no, Bobby Orr. Well,
Chris,
look
to
up-
be fair, Chris loves these style T-shirts. You just talked about this on the last podcast.
Oh my god, dude.
So for you,
You know
to
what's
get that
funny?
was probably just over the moon.
We spent 2 days, and we'll talk about this in depth next time, but I just want to say we spent 2 days stunt driving. At the end, you do like an exam to prove that you know what you're doing. And they were like, yeah, you don't get like a piece of paper or anything, but you get a T-shirt. And I was like, oh, okay. I need to focus here because I need that T-shirt. And
you got it.
Here we
Look
go.
at you. You just barely slid the Escort into the
I
box.
manifested this beautiful
Mm-hmm.
T-shirt.
You and I got a black and white deal going on here today.
Yeah, I'm glad it was white because I like to wear white when I'm filming because it,
Yeah,
reflects.
Did you get a new hat as well down in?
Yes, this is from the Breakers, which is a nice hotel in Palm Beach. So
Very cool.
I walked into their little shop. This is the first hat I saw, so it's what I bought.
Scooped it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching. I'll tell you, because it's a little bit kind of interesting as well, I'm going up to the Harman headquarters.
Oh, you're doing that today?
Yes.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they, did you know, do a lot more than just sound systems.
No.
They do ADAS systems,
I don't know
driver
what that is.
awareness,
Oh, okay.
like
No,
active safety,
yeah.
things like that. A lot of things that go into cars are actually built and designed by Harman. So it's kind of almost a Bosch competitor. So I'm going to go, a lot of the stuff I'm going to see today is not necessarily audio related. It's just like kind of new things they've come up with for the car world. So it's going to be kind of interesting. And we'll see you on the next one. We are Paris and Nicole with Daily Motor. And as always, in line 6 with a manual on.
Handbrake turn on. T-shirt on.